Whenever somebody says that an expert is going to explain something to you, my hackles go up immediately, simply because the first thing I want to ask is, what makes you an expert? How much experience do you have? And now, if you've shared with me what your expertise is, now prove it. Cryptocurrencies have been praised and condemned in equal measure. No, according to this article, they're not equal measure, because later on you'll see that. By world leaders, even becoming legal tender in some countries. But a risk expert speculates they now have reached the beginning of the end, as the factors fueling their success have come to a standstill. Okay, so prove to me that they've come to a standstill, and tell me what factors that were fueling their gain have gone away. People are still stupid enough to invest in bad investments. Those haven't gone away. People will still throw their money at something that's a quick get-rich-quick scheme. Those people haven't gone away. So he outlines why he thinks crypto is about to enter its final declining phase and how it will leave a positive legacy. So, what he's doing is he's trying to draw people in here by throwing a few bones out to people constantly. Oh, it'll leave a positive legacy. And it's praised, by world leaders. It's become a legal tender in some places. But at the same time, it's going to be a hit piece on cryptocurrencies. Now, this is a World Economic Forum piece. And the point I want to make here mostly is the fact that the World Economic Forum is set and determined to create what they call a new world order, or what they're calling is the Great Reset. And if you want to, read more about the Great Reset, just Google it, go to the World Economic Forum articles. They are unabashedly frank about wanting to reset everybody's currencies to one world currency. And they're going to do it by bankrupting the most prolific of countries, such as Japan, the United States, and other countries that are economically viable and economically strong. Okay, so let's go on and read some more of their articles. What is the future is another article. This is what the future holds for cryptocurrencies. In other words, you see that they are basically setting themselves up as the expert, okay? They are saying, this is what's going to happen with cryptocurrencies. Now read ahead so that you can know what's going to happen, okay? And of course, they'll give you some bullet points. Start out with 2022 is a terrible year. Loss of $2 trillion in market value. That's true. People exited the cryptocurrency space just like they exited the stock market and the real estate market. And the losses in those areas were a whole lot more than $2 trillion. But, okay, it sounds big when they say it here. We could now see the handover of crypto technology and blockchain infrastructure to more regulated and established institutions. Now, what are regulated and established institutions? Well, Federal Reserve in the United States would be considered a regulated and established institution. Chase Bank, Carnegie Mellon Bank, you name the big banks, and that's who they're talking about, okay? Cryptography and blockchains will continue to be integral parts of the modern economic toolkit. Okay, there's where they really tip their hand and say, we're going to be against crypto because it doesn't match our view of the world. But we're ahead. We like blockchains because it can run the world a whole lot more efficiently. And so you're going to see, as you get into the World Economic Forum, this kind of a trend going forward in their articles. So now, understand that the World Economic Forum is probably the foremost place to get good, solid information on blockchain and blockchain implementations. Okay? So blockchain implementations, here is their mission statement. It says, helping digital ledger technology reach its full potential. They are 100% on board with blockchain for business, committed to helping ensure that blockchain securely decentralizes the transfer of information in ways that reduce corruption, increase trust, and empower users. Okay, that sounds really good, I think. The problem is that's kind of not what they stand for. They don't stand for empowering users. They really don't. They would rather empower the elite, which is the whole reset thing that you can read about. So if you go in here with the idea that you're going to get good information about blockchain and where it can be used and how it can be used, and get a hold of the critical players involved that really help the blockchain movement going forward and using it in business to promote business, this is a great place to go. And so what you can do here is you can go, and when you highlight there, you can find out what kind of places do regulatory type of businesses. So you can see that global governance and justice and law and all these different places here are part of their blockchain law, policy and regulation and law. So tokenization and digital assets, you see it flows into a lot of different areas, and you can learn about tokenization and how that impacts things like the digital economy or arts and culture, real estate. You know, a token can represent your title to your house and various things there. Blockchain and cryptocurrency climate impact. In other words, they've got Green New Deals down here. And that, I thought that was kind of interesting because they're all for these Green New Deals because they want to get rid of fossil fuels, mining and metals, economic progress, all of these things that are involved. And then you have these ones that go over here. Notice that there are several lines that come to some of these, and they go in and out. So if you want to know about any of these subjects, the World Economic Forum is an incredibly good resource to go to find information about these kind of topics. And as you go out here, if you decide you want to investigate this education, skills, and learning, all you have to do is click here and go to that particular section. And it'll dig even deeper into the topics that are involved. So you can learn about education and science, education, values, youth perspectives, migration, all different aspects of different continuing education and welfare of children as they're being taught around the world. Now, this is a very world view. It's definitely not a United States view or a France view or Spain or Australia. It's very much a, people getting together on a world basis. It's almost like going to the United Nations and seeing what they feel about things. So they may or may not agree with our values and philosophies here in the United States where you've been raised or wherever you've been raised around the world. So do understand that, but you can see how they can implement blockchain through all of these different industries. So in that way, it becomes an incredibly good resource. Now, in evaluating any type of source, you need to understand their value structure. And the whole point of the value structure of this particular source is to know that they're going to be anti-crypto and pro-blockchain. Other sources that we've talked about are the same way.